I think it makes sense how we talk about some of the interesting journeys and the experiences we might have gone on from being spontaneous, right? So for me,
Mm,
one example that really pops up in my head is back when I went to Italy a few years ago. It was, I think it was a weekend, might have been just the afternoon. I'm not completely sure, but we were in Arezzo, which is the town we were staying in. That's kind of where we're based out of. And during the free times, we would go to other places. But in the morning, we would have classes in this Citadel. We would take the bus there. It's not too far away. But we were living in the city of Arezzo, which is a fairly, not that small, but it's a smaller city in Tuscany. So one day, we if it was during the week we had class and we're back in this afternoon. If it's during the weekend, I'm starting to really think it's during the week. But if it's during the weekend, we didn't have class. But either way, I was just chilling in the apartment and the people there. Right, we were living together, and I was just talking to some people because we talked on the phone, right? Just messages, kind of deciding what we're gonna do for weekends, maybe go out for food, maybe just these different experiences, and just kind of talking about like, uh, you know, if they understood the stuffing material, just all kinds of different things that you would talk about, just sharing the experience because you saw each other all the time, right?
mm,
But yeah, I just got a message. Hey, we're thinking about going to the beach, but like at the lake that is not too far away. Do you want to come? So the train station is probably like 15-minute walk away from where I was living. And they're like, okay, we're gonna get on that train, and it's like, hey, yo, this is like 10 minutes from now. The people I was talking to, they live a bit closer. They're about probably like 10, we're within 10-minute walk to there, so they pretty much had to leave at that time as well. But I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I mean, I'm down to go. So I talked to the couple of guys I was hanging out with, and well, they couldn't go for some reason. I was, you know what? I'm still down to go. So it's like, hey, let's just do it. So I had all my stuff in my bag. Prepare yourself, and
yeah.
then I just put on change my clothes real quick and put on some shoes and just took a light jog to the train station. I made it on time, no problem. And I made it there pretty much the same time they did because, it was actually so weird because it was literally me and like 12 girls or something like that. It was a weird situation, man. Like, if you
Weird or
ever
good, George? Weird or good?
both. We were all friends, right? And
Yeah.
so it was really chill. But it's also a very different dynamic when you're the only
Mm,
guy and everyone else is girls, right?
mm,
I feel like when girls hang out with each other, it's different between each other than when they're hanging out with guys a lot of the times. And
mm.
when in that situation, they're pretty much just hanging out with girls, except I was also there. So I'm like, this isn't a normal dynamic. When guys and girls hang out together, just being friends, like that's. But when girls and girls, like no guys there, just hanging out together, it is a different dynamic a lot of the times. And I felt
Mhm,
like it was more like that dynamic than like the normal guy and girl hanging out together, friends dynamic
mhm.
that I was more, used to. So it was kind of like, huh, it's almost like I'm just another girl here. Yeah. But yeah, so they took a little bit longer because a lot of people had to get stuff and whatnot. So, but
Mhm.
we all made it. We took the train there and we had a great afternoon at the lake, at the beach, and it's just memorable experience out of being spontaneous and very interesting overall.
Yeah,
Do you
man.
have any experiences off of
Um,
being spontaneous?
um, yeah. Like to touch on some points of your story. You know, that bag always prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because you leave a lot of the things you need in that bag, like anyways, right? And it's already there.
Exactly.
You just grab it and you just go, So that's always nice. But yeah, like how was the beach, dude? Like was it nice? Like was it like beautiful?
It was pretty nice, I would say. Like I've been to some really nice beaches, right? And you can't really compare a beach at a lake to like a beach, like with the ocean, right?
Yeah.
So because I've been to really nice beaches like the Caribbean, back when I was in Australia, and I've just seen a lot of beautiful beaches. And also that I have been to some lakes out in like Okanagan and whatnot in BC. So like lake beaches, right? And those have been pretty nice. So I would say this was comparable to some of the ones in Okanagan. It was definitely pretty nice. But at the same time, right, when you're thinking of a beach, that's probably not what you think of. So in that sense, it wasn't that nice. But the experience as a whole was pretty good. When I went, a lot of the times in Italy, like normally during the month of May, the weather is pretty good. It's like, but it rained a lot when I was there. Like it was like pretty much unprecedented. Like it was very abnormal. But that day the weather was actually pretty good, and and the little town, the beach was pretty charming. It was very local and small, so you got more of a sense of kind of how kind of life kind of is for local people there. You get more sense of authentic Italy, right? Rather than just the big cities with more tourists, without all the incredible architecture and art that comes from the different periods, from all the way back with ancient Rome. You talk about stuff in the Renaissance and Baroque eras, and even the influence of Mussolini and all these different things that happen, right? Obviously, in different places, they have all these very powerful families and loyal, I guess they're royal families back in the day, because they were city-states essentially, right? So instead of all of those that you saw and really appreciated, going to a really small place like that kind of get you a different sense, and it was really memorable for that as well. And also the little bar at the beach, the drinks were not very expensive, so that was also nice. Yeah, no, it was not. I guess it's because it's more local. It's not as touristy, right? Compared to like bigger cities, especially the main touristy spots. So yeah, just had a couple nice drinks, chilled at the beach with my friends. And one thing I didn't do was bring swim trunks. I don't know if I brought swim trunks to that trip at all, because that's not something that I really thought about doing. I might have, but I definitely did not bring them with me to there. I also didn't really think I was gonna go to the beach because it wasn't like super hot, right? So I was like, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't end up doing that. But pretty much all of them did. So I ended up being like the cameraman for like a decent bit of it, because obviously I wanted photos for Instagram and whatnot, and everyone just taking a lot of photos as tourists anyways, right? So yeah, because I wasn't getting the water, and so I kind of took on that role a little bit as well, which is also not bad. Better than just sitting in there and not doing anything, right? Almost played beach volleyball, but didn't end up doing that. Not enough people wanted to do it, and I wasn't gonna ask some random Italian people if I could play with them by myself. Like, especially if just a couple of them wanted to do it. So, not worth it. Overall, really nice experience coming out of spontaneity.
Yeah, it sounds great, man. I definitely had, because I live in Hamilton. There's not much to do here. There's a lot of nice, restaurants and stuff, like lots of trails and stuff too. So like it's always fun to just go there, with a friend. They're like, oh, you just try to go on a trail, bro. I'm like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah.
So like there's like little spontaneous like I guess events like throughout the year.
Hmm.
Um, I'd say one of the biggest ones was probably on Canada Day. It's like a few years back, and that's how I got really close with some friends of mine. Um, so like a few years back, right? I think this is like okay, this is more than a few years. This is like 5, 6 years ago. But
Time flies, man.
yeah, man. Oh, but so on Canada Day, I kind of messaged my friend Christian. I was like, hey man, what are you doing? Today for Canada Day? And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Might be going, to see like the fireworks and stuff with like like whoever like people.
Hmm.
And then I was like, oh okay. And he's like, yo, you trying to come? I'm like, yeah, I'm down. So we met up. Like I think he came over, and then like we took the bus there to meet um, the others like downtown. And it was I think it was just the two or three of them. Um, yeah, but then basically what happened was like so Canada Day we walked all the way down to the beach area and we were watching some fireworks, and in Hamilton, I'd say the walks in Hamilton are really nice.
Oh,
Hmm Like you get to
nice.
really enjoy them, because like I think it's planned for like public transit and like not really like for vehicular like trips, I guess. Because bro,
Mm.
if you're driving downtown, not a good idea. But yeah, like so we walked, an hour, 2 hours down to the bay, and after the fireworks were done, we were like, oh okay. Like I was kind of just expecting like, all right, let's go back, like let's go home, whatever. Um, but then like one of them were like, all right, so what do we do now? So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm in it. I don't know what we're doing, but I'm in it. Let's continue this ride. So we ended up walking like up, like in Hamilton people call it the mountain, which isn't really a mountain. It's just like a really like big hill, like a
Okay.
giant rock basically. But we walked all the way up there. We walked, like all around the city. It was getting late. It was like 3 a.m. at that point, and we went out
Wow.
around like 6. So it's been like a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so we kind of just explored a little bit at night, and I think at night it's really beautiful because it's so quiet and peaceful. And you never know what might happen, right? Um, so yeah, we kind of just walked around, walked by the waters, and then we went up, the mountain, and then we walked really far. I don't know where, but we walked really far to the outskirts of the city, almost to like another city. Like so that was like I was like, bro, like I've never been to this part of Hamilton or Burlington. I don't know where we are, but we'll find our way back. So eventually, we all went back. We're like, all right, like see you next time. And then, like a few days later, they're like, I think Christian was like, yo, you down to hang out with them again? I'm like, bro, I'm down, So like it became almost like a routine, I'd say. And then like this happened for like maybe like a few summers where like every week or so
Hmm.
we would take our time, like we meet up around like 7 or 8, and then we would walk, just enjoy ourselves, maybe to like a
Yeah.
water, like like views or some like trails or stuff, grab some food, play some pool, and then kind of just walk till like 3, 4 a.m. And that was
Wow.
really enjoyable. Like honestly, it's not like a really like a big event, but
Hmm.
I'd say it what made it really fun was just the people, right? And
Yeah.
just getting really close with them in such a short period of time as well,
Yeah.
and really like forming strong bonds, and like later on like having like that as like like a best friend kind of like group thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, and another spontaneous event though. During that spontaneous event, we got jumped.
Oh wow. I mean, when you're out that late regularly, the chances of that happening is definitely higher.
Yeah, especially in Hamilton too.
Yeah.
But basically, it was like the four of us. Usually, because like it was five on Canada Day, but then like it kind of just became like the four of us. Um, but yeah, so like like us four, we split up, and we were like, okay, like we'll grab something at the convenience store or something. Like while the other two kind of just chill.
Okay.
So while we were like like while we went to the convenience store and on our way back, like it's a long story. I'll tell it another time. But basically,
Okay.
there were like a group of six, and it was just us two, and then it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Got into a fight. I broke my nose.
Oh.
But at the end of it, like we came out unscathed, basically.
Okay.
So it was pretty chill. Like in the worst way possible, it was pretty chill. And then while we were doing that, the other two, like there's some like really old, like I don't even know if it was old, but like a homeless like lady, right? And they
Okay.
were being accused of stealing her drugs, and she was
And this happening at the same time.
basically.
Bruh.
And when we met up, we are like, bro, we were both like, you won't believe what happened to us. So
Dang.
that was pretty spontaneous.
Yeah. What a story, man.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh, what a story, Mark. How does it go? The room, man.
Oh,
Always
hi,
goes back to
Mark.
the room.
It's so good, man. That's a pretty good movie. If you guys haven't seen it, it's like those movies that are like that were made in all seriousness, but it's so bad it's good now.
Yeah.
Love it.
There's so many quotable lines. The way he delivers them, and just like wow. But yeah, that was definitely a very interesting experience coming out of being spontaneous. And I would say that one of the nice things about being in the area that with people that you kind of have known for a long time, especially like during summer when there isn't as much going on, right? You get to have these kind of more spontaneous experiences more frequently. Maybe someone hit you up, hey, let's go to the beach. Hey, wanna go play soccer or basketball or grab food? Do you wanna get a drink at the bar? Like, do you wanna go for a walk? Do you wanna go for a drive? All these just little things. Also, other times maybe you hit them up, hey, wanna go for a hike, and just these back and forth out of the blue kind of plans being made just because everyone's in the area, everyone has a bit more time, and these things they could just happen. And yeah, honestly, that's definitely one of the nice things about being in an area that with people that you have known, right? And not something that you could necessarily experience in other settings. I would say that being in university, a lot of people don't necessarily have the most busy schedules or care to put in all the work and time into doing things. And in universities, if you want to focus on the social aspects, like I would say a decent amount of people do, you can also have a lot of those kind of spontaneous events kind of happen, right? Just because there's things happening around campus, in the city, downtown, and just various things that you're able to do. So at university, you definitely meet a lot of people. So yeah, definitely something to think about is that, hey, if you're not the most academically focused person, or if you're not in a program that's that intense, this might be something you might look forward to. It might not be for everyone. Like for me, that's definitely not something I do. I would say that one spontaneous experience I had relating to that was this summer, right after my final presentation was done for my research project, and right before I was flying back home for like 3 weeks. My first year roommate and someone I keep in touch with once in a while and have had classes with a lot, especially in the past. But now everyone's busy, right? Especially in my program, and there's a lot going on. And in third year, especially, onwards, you're in different modules because there's like 20 plus modules that you would go into. So yeah, he was free and I was free on the same night, and he reached out to me out of the blue, say, hey, wanna go downtown and just grab a drink and catch up. And it was a really nice experience, and everything just fell into place, and something very memorable for sure. So yeah, I really appreciate these experiences that come out of spontaneity, whether they're smaller or bigger. There are definitely a lot that could come out of it, as we've kind of talked about here. So if you're kind of rejecting spontaneity, just think about what we said before. There are ways you can reduce the stress and prepare yourself for it, and there are so many cool and memorable and meaningful experiences you could get out of it. And yeah, definitely promote it.